Senator, we're now finding out more information regarding Benghazi and what took place there. And apparently, according to Fox News and other media outlets, there are now apparently State Department whistleblowers who were there on the ground, who saw what took place. They say they want to speak. They say they want to talk about what they believe is a cover-up by this administration. And yet, according now to numerous reports, the Obama administration or some unnamed officials in the administration have threatened them and even pushed to deny them legal representation to testify in front of Congress. Is it time for us to get to the bottom of this?
You know, we've been asking for months to interview those who were there. How can we try to, prevent something like this from happening again if we don't exactly know what happened and what went wrong there? The one thing we do know for certain is that Hillary Clinton, when she was asked, did you read the cables, asking for more security there, and when she said no, that really alarms me, that the person in charge of the State Department never read any of the cries for help, any of the pleas for help, and then her department denied these requests for enhanced security. And that, I think, is really a dereliction of duty and should preclude her from holding any kind of position where she'd be in that kind of authority again.
Senator, do you believe that she committed perjury when she testified in January 2013, saying she never knew of any requests for extra security, she never knew about what was going on in Benghazi, and yet we now know of at least one cable with her signature on it where she not only denied requests for extra security, but in fact, according to this cable, wanted even more security cut back? Did she lie under oath, in your opinion?
I think it's equally damning either way. The one thing we do know for sure, if we take her at her word that she did not read any of the requests for security, we do know at her word that she didn't do her job, which her job, she says she didn't have enough time to read all the cables from all the countries. Well, I don't expect her to have read every cable from Estonia or from Bulgaria, but from Libya I do. If the ambassador sent her a cable, which he did, asking for more security, if she read it and denied it, that's awful. But if she didn't read it, that's, to me, equally as offensive because it is her job. She should prioritize her time. And really, the biggest mistake in Benghazi was thinking that the embassy there would be the same as Paris. The embassy in Benghazi should have been treated like Baghdad, with a full military perimeter under the command and control of the military, not the State Department. And it was basically a leadership decision that she failed us on, and then she failed when they asked for help. She failed to send them any help.
We are talking with Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, Tea Party favorite, potential Republican candidate for the presidency in 2016. Senator, let me ask you one final question. I look at the Obama administration, and like you, I'm a Tea Party Republican, a constitutional conservative, and I see Fast and Furious. I see the way Obamacare was rammed down our throat. I see an administration that has been suing other states to prevent them or deny them from protecting our borders and controlling illegal immigration. Now I see Benghazi Gate. Now I see the Boston Marathon bombing. I see a president who's abused the Constitution, who's abused his power, who in many ways failed as his job as commander-in-chief to keep Americans safe and maybe now even implicated in a massive cover-up regarding Benghazi. Why are no Republicans, I know you're in the Senate, impeachment begins in the House, but why are no Republicans drawing up articles of impeachment?
Well, I think first things first, and I think the first thing that needs to happen is good, thorough hearings on Benghazi. And really, see, the House has subpoena power. There's no reason why they can't subpoena those witnesses. And ultimately, the people who do want to testify, I think if the House is adamant on this, they will testify. But I don't think you can make a decision on anything else until you've got more information on what happened in Benghazi. But, I did ask another question of Hillary Clinton in the hearings. I asked, was the CIA annexed there facilitating arms sales or arms transfers to Syria? And she acted as if she'd never, ever heard of the concept, even though it had been reported in the New York Times and various other mainstream media. And there's documentation that a Turkish ship left within the week before the attacks, loaded with weapons for Syria. And I think that's a question still to ask. Does that have anything to do with the idea that they were covering up and saying that this was, some sort of local protest of a movie? Does that have to do with they were trying to deflect attention away from what the function of the CIA annex was doing there? And I think we've still never gotten to the bottom of what was the CIA annex doing there, and was the CIA annex as well as that consulate target because of the arms transfers.
Senator Paul, do you think the CIA was running an illegal gun smuggling operation?
I don't have evidence that they were, but there are stories from the news media saying that they may have been involved. And so that's why I asked the question, but I've never gotten a direct answer. Hillary Clinton's answer was she had never even heard of the concept, which I find disingenuous at the very least. But I don't have any particular evidence that they were or weren't, but I think the question should be asked since there have been news reports of Turkish ships leaving and that the ambassador met with the Turkish attaché within a day or two of his assassination. You would think if you're investigating this, you would want to know, is there any connection between the ships going to Turkey, transfer of arms, and the killing of the ambassador?
We have been talking with Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, Tea Party Republican, potential 2016 Republican presidential candidate. As usual, great stuff, Senator Paul. Keep up the great fight, and thanks for coming on the Kuhner Report.
Thanks, Jeff.
God bless you, sir. 617-266-6868 is the number. Well, you just heard Senator Rand Paul. What do you think? What do you make of the interview?